I'm about to take my first trip in over a year and a half, and I'm so excited. While keeping that in mind, I want to practice animism along the way. Stay tuned, let's talk about how. Hi everybody, welcome back to another video by Pan Society. I'm Sherry, and today I want to talk about traveling and incorporating animism in that. And more specifically, how to be a great guest. We always talk about hospitality in animism, and that's, how you treat the people that are in your care. But also, there's a reverse to that on how to be a good guest and how to be, a good traveler. Because you always hear phrases like, ugly Americans when they travel, or you hear everybody has a stereotype everywhere, unfortunately. And there are ways to avoid that. But also, while practicing being a good guest and practicing animism while traveling, you can actually have a rather great experience and learn some things. So one of the things I want to talk about is having no expectations, or maybe lower expectations. And I don't mean that in that your trip is going to be terrible or uneventful. It's just don't go to another place, especially if you're leaving your country or your region, and expect the same kind of products, restaurants, food, services. If you were traveling outside of the country, things are different. People do things differently. And instead of being miserable or out of place in those systems, take the time to see what's going on and learn. It could be fun. Like you'll go to some places where they eat with their hands, and it's one of my favorite ways of eating. Or you'll go to places that the meal times are way different than what you're used to, and if you know about this ahead of time, you can plan for that and you won't get hangry while you're out on tour or whatever. So, have an open mind as you're traveling. Another thing I would like to bring to your attention is food options. This is always being self-aware of who, yourself, and practicing good sovereignty. But be open-minded to trying the local foods, and maybe asking the place that you're staying, like if you're at a hotel, asking the front desk or concierge service where they like to eat, what's good, so that you can try local foods and get the flavor instead of going to like McDonald's or whatever fast food restaurant is available to you. You can do the same trick when it comes down to looking up local history, finding places to visit, so that you can turn your trip into an experience and get something that people aren't getting, and you can get off the beaten path and learn more about the people that you're spending time with, so that it is a different experience than you just staying in a hotel and doing exactly what you would do at home, except in a different location. Another way to be a great guest in a new place is to do some research ahead of time. We have access to information. It's at our fingertips, whether you're accessing the internet on your phone, computer, library, whatever. We have resources now. So if somebody's doing something different in a different place, you would know ahead of time, and it would save a little bit of embarrassment. I'm not going to say every time, because there's slip-ups. We always have slip-ups, but it will prepare you for a myriad of things, maybe, and also give you ways to show appreciation for the host. If someone is hosting you in a place, you might know what kind of gifts to bring, or things that are traditional to do that would show that you are very grateful for what they're sharing with you. One of my favorite things while traveling, though, is just observing. There's lots of beautiful parks and places. Nature is different. The animals are different. But I like to people watch. I like to get into an experience. And so I kind of like to blend in or sit somewhere long enough just to watch how everybody else is doing. And this is a great trick if you are lost or you don't know what you're doing. Is just to observe everybody else, because you will see a pattern and you can follow along without embarrassing yourself or causing any kind of agony. So on my final thought on traveling and being a great guest, as we are going back out into the world, we are coming out of our shells, we're seeing people, I noticed there's a lot of I hate saying this, freakouts or emotional outbursts happening. And this is totally different from a different social situation that's happening. And it comes from stress and the fact that we have just totally forgotten how to communicate with each other. So if you are finding yourself in a situation where you're stressed out, you know you're going to lash out, practice good sovereignty. Take a minute, take a breath, sit down, find some place to sit down and relax for a second to calm down and get your wits about you. And then you will always find a solution out of whatever you got yourself into or whatever just happened to happen. I hope these are great tricks on helping you become a great guest in other people's countries or areas when you are traveling. If you know of any more that I haven't mentioned, feel free to comment down below or join us on Facebook because we always love talking there. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time in the next pan video.